Hello everybody, so in today's video I thought I would just do a quick demonstration of how blind people actually use Logic, because it's often something that I'm asked about. So I'm just going to play this song that I've just finished arranging in the background. I've just started to give it a bit of a mix. There's still a lot I'm not very happy with. I want to change the bass sound, I want to change the kick, but I think the main arrangement of the track is done. So I'm just going to play that in the background so we're not sat in silence, and I'll be able to show you how a few things work in Logic.
9 bars, 40, 4 division, 118.6.
So as you heard there, that was my screen reader starting to talk to me to let me know where I was in my project. So the way that the screen reader works is it will read whatever is currently selected on the screen, or it will notify you to certain changes. So the way that the screen's broken down is it breaks the main elements into their own containers, and then inside those containers we have further containers. So
Track 6, drum loop, group.
I'm currently in the track's headers. That's just uninteract with everything.
Inspector, group.
So now we're at the main top level where we have access to the control bar, the inspector, the tracks group, and if I bring up the mixer and get into the mixer, and so on and so forth. If I bring up the piano roll,
Open piano roll. Now in
I can do it that way.
Piano roll.
So VoiceOver will just alert you as to where you currently are. So I think the first thing to show is that a lot of things we do in Logic is very heavily, I'm just going to stop that for now, is very heavily driven by shortcuts. And so the way I thought I'd show this is the main melody in the song. If I go into my tracks and come down the bottom, I imported a loop that I cut up, so I'm just going to show you what the original loop was, which is this loop here. And all I've done to make my melody is I've cut it up and rearranged it, and it's, to be honest, a lot of the way that we do things is pretty similar to the way that most people use Logic. It's just a bit more keyboard heavy. So I'm just going to convert that to a sampler track with Control E. I'm going to make sure that transients are selected.
Sampler selected, radio button 1 of 3.
The sampler is selected.
Drum machine designer alchemy radio create one shot tick checkbox. Instrument name KARR trigger note range C1 36.
Starting from C1, that's fine. I'm going to click OK.
Tracks group.
And I'm just going
Track header in track horizontal splitter 0 collapse on out of tracks legend track 66 KARR underscore vocal track header track 67 track 67.
What's happened there? That was strange. Sometimes Logic likes to be a bit temperamental.
Track 67 track 66
So I'm just going to delete out that original track.
Track 66
I'm just going to solo this. And then all I did was I deleted it. I started playing around on the MIDI keyboard. I can't remember exactly what I did, but I basically found something like that, and then I drew it in. I just recorded it in the same way you normally would, but while I've got this here, I'll show you how I use the piano roll. So let's just pretend this was a kick, and I quickly wanted to create a 4 to the floor kick. I've got a shortcut set up with Keyboard Maestro, which is some automation software that I use to automate common tasks, which will create a MIDI event at the current position of the playhead, and it will drop a note in on C3.
Now piano roll layout area.
So that's done that there. As you can see, that's there, and then all I would do is just use the repeat command until I had it 4 to the floor.
44 division 118.6.
And that's how I would do something like kicks and other sorts of quick things like that. And then I would go in
piano roll layout area.
to the piano roll area.
Note at 1 bar 41 division 1 tick.
And as you can see here now, I've got control over the different notes in the piano roll.
Note at 1 bar 1 beat 1 division 1 tick. C3. Note at 1 bar 1 beat 1 division 1 tick. Note at 1 bar 1.
And I can start moving things up and down, left and right, lengthen them by the division value, or bars and beats and divisions, and all the same ways that most people move things around in Logic. It's not really that dissimilar.
C3 layout.
If I close that now, I'll show you how we do things like compressors. I'm going to jump into the mixer area. Go to the mixer, come to the topic here, jump. So this is the gain reduction meter. Now what we have to do here is if we want to be able to monitor our gain reduction, we need to set what is called a hotspot. And hotspots are just basically areas that VoiceOver can quickly either jump to or monitor for you without being on them. So if I set this to hotspot 8, and then I open up the compressor here, and I just start playing it back. Up to just make that a loop. If I now call up the hotspot monitor, it's telling me I've got about 8 dB gain reduction. It's kind of a bit of a guessing game doing this. It's not the most accurate because it will read basically when you press the shortcut. So you kind of have to press it quite a few times and listen to a while to sort of figure that out if that's what you're interested in doing. The way an EQ would work.
EQ button.
So I'll bring up the EQ here.
Previous button. Next.
And you can see I've got it set to open up all plugins by default in controls view rather than the GUIs.
Table. Low cut frequency. Low cut /off.
So let's say I want to put a low cut on.
Low cut /off. Low cut frequency. 20.0 hertz. Second 0
I
slider.
want to put it, let's start at about 200 hertz.
Slider. Low cut frequency. 200 hertz.
So this is one of the reasons I'm still in Logic 10.5.1. In 10.6 I've lost the ability to be able to just click on something and change a value. In plugins that Logic made themselves, that's not really a big problem because all of these sliders, if I show you,
low cut slope, 12 dB, low cut frequency, in 320 hertz, 340 hertz.
These will move in sensible increments when I press the right arrow.
360 hertz, 380 hertz.
Now, if I do this in some third-party plugins, that will move in 0.0001 increments. So you really need to be able to type in the number to jump to sort of a starting position if you have a rough idea where you want to start.
Out slider.
So that's how we do all them things. As you can imagine, with EQs, it becomes a little bit fiddly.
380 hertz, second 0 slider. Out low shelf frequency.
Let's just quickly.
Low shelf gain. 0 low shelf Q factor. Peak 1 frequency. Peak 1 gain. 0.0 dB. Segment 0 slider.
Let's just quickly give ourselves 6 dB again.
50% slider. Row 11.
Yeah.
Peak 1 frequency. 100 hertz. Second 0 slider. Peak 1 Q factor. 0.60.
Tighten up the Q as if we were going to sweep for some resonances.
Out peak 1 Q factor. Out peak 1 frequency. 100
Go
hertz.
into the frequencies.
100 hertz. Second in slider. 110 hertz.
Now what I would do here is I would actually mute voiceover.
Speech muted.
So that when I'm moving this around, I would be able to hear what was happening.
Speech unmuted. Peak 1 frequency. Out of. Peak 1 on / off. Tick. Peak 1 frequency. Peak 1 gain. Plus 6.0 dB. Segment 0. Peak 1 Q factor. 100 second 0 slide.
Because if you have that turned off,
Peak 1 gain. Plus 6.0 dB. Segment 0.
I don't know why I uninteracted with that. That was silly.
Peak 1 frequency. 20.
Let's just jump back in there.
In slider. 19,000.
If I have it turned on, as you can imagine, you've got something playing and you're moving that around, it becomes a lot to listen to. So I like to mute voiceover on and off quite a lot. And I think that's basically a lot of the basics of how we use voiceover. There's really not too much to show. Like I say, it's all just a lot of jumping around like that and a lot of learning keyboard shortcuts.
4,200.
Like one of the most important things I've got is, let's say I finish making an 8-bar loop. Let's just jump somewhere towards the end of the song.
39 bars, 40 bars, 1 division, 1 take. Track header, track 66, KAR, track 66, toggle channel strip, 39 bars, 40 division, 100. 45 bars, 54 bars, 1 beat, 1 division, 1 take.
Let's just jump to a random position.
59 bars, 1 beat, 1 division, 60 bars, 1, 64, 65, 66 bars, 1 beat, 1 division, 1 take.
So let's just pretend I was going to take the last 16 bars of my song here and repeat them out again.
66 bars, 1 beat, 1 division, 65 bars, 4, 67 bars, 1 beat,
I would put the playhead at the starting position. I would drop my left locator there with a shortcut I've got set up. I would jump to the end of the section that I wanted to repeat.
75, 78, 79, 80 bar, 81 bar, 82 bars, 83 bar, 84 bars, 82 bar, 81 bars, 82 bars, 1 beat, 1 division, 83 bars, 1 beat, 1 division.
Which is there. I would drop the right locator and then I would use the Command Control R shortcut to repeat all of in locators.
Cycle mode on. Cycle 82 bars, 4 division, 118 ticks. 82 bars, 1 beat, 1 division.
So as you can see, that just dropped that there again.
81 bars, 1 beat, 1 division, 1 tick.
So it's just a lot of learning things like that, to be honest. So I hope you found this useful. I hope it's been interesting. And if anyone's got any questions, just let us know. I'm always happy to help. If you want anything explained or you're curious about anything I've missed out. And if you're interested in seeing more, then I guess like, subscribe, and all those other YouTube buzzwords. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.